Hi, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to Yacach. This is our segment where we talk to fathers, and it's still the Father's Day week or Father's Day period. And we've been interviewing fathers, and today I have with me our very own Alfred, who is a father of three wonderful children, and I want to just have a quick catch up with him of his experience of fatherhood, what he has learned, what he would have done differently was if he was given the opportunity, and many more things to talk about. So, Alfred, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming to speak to us today. What is your understanding of who a father is?
I think a father is someone there to provide and to protect his family and also to guide them spiritually.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, growing up, your father was older, and so what was your experience with your father, and what are some of the things that your father did that you are not doing? Some of the experiences you had with your father that you are making sure you are not going to repeat.
I think I was not fortunate to grow up with having that father figure.
Mm,
Um, I, I I was separated from my dad at the age of 3
okay.
to live with my sister, who is now in quotes, I would say my mom.
And your father.
Yes, a father, yes. So growing up, I didn't get the opportunity to live with my father. But when I grew up, I visited my dad once or twice
Mm,
before.
mm,
So
mm,
for me, the father figure aspect, I didn't get that.
mm.
But I remember when I visited my dad, he told me something that I will never forget. He said, when you get married, try to love the person you get married to. And remember, when you marry, you never go back.
Mm,
Yes, so that is the little advice I took from my dad. But
mm.
I didn't really have that father figure when I was growing up.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it means everything I've learned in being a father is something you learned from somewhere.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Okay. So what are the two or three things that you have learned as a father has helped in you being a good father? Because I know how you are with your children, and you've been a great dad to your children. And not only that, I think you father other young people as well. You mentor. I know, for instance, you have Father Christian
Yeah.
and other kids around. And so, what have been the things you've learned and has helped you in your journey as a father?
I think as a father, for me, having 3 kids, I think one thing that I've learned is that physical provision for the kids,
Mm,
because I make sure that everything they ask necessarily,
mm,
I provide for them.
mm,
Yes, and emotionally. And this is something also I learned from church, like from you, Reverend, as my spiritual father, because sometimes I'll sit the kids down and we have a conversation. And this was something I learned from you,
mm,
what you just told us. And during the conversation, I realized the kids are very smart,
mm,
very intelligent, because there was a time I had a conversation with my daughter. My daughter was talking to me, oh, my son is having a girlfriend at school, all that. And I said, oh, come on, let's all have a conversation. If it were to be at first, I would be very angry.
mm,
But per the experience and per the things that I've learned, I had a conversation with them. So this is part of the things a father needs to do, that emotional support
mm,
and that physical support, having a conversation. So we had a conversation, we had a laugh and all that. And I realized it's not even about girl, it's just a girl that he talks to. And it was so funny. And also, when we have the conversation with them, you begin to realize their needs. Yeah, what they want and what they don't want. And what I remember last time I asked them, listen, guys, tell us as parents what we do that you don't like. And they're all coming out with different things. And we realize that then we need to reduce that. We need to, So I think this is something that as a father, I've been learning.
Wow. So you see, being a father is also a continuous learning experience.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay. So if you are to talk to maybe potential fathers like the one standing behind the camera, coming, what are some of the advice you will give them that now that you've entered into marriage, when the children begin to come, what you need to do to be a good father? What would you say to them?
I would say that one thing that we need to realize is you need to be at par with your wife. Whatever conversation that transpires between you and your wife should be the same conversation. That because the children, they are very smart.
Yeah.
Sometimes they will come to you and tell you, "Oh, Daddy, I want this." Meanwhile, they've gone to their mom to ask the same thing, which wasn't granted. But because they are too smart, they will come to you, especially Zelda is like that. And I'll ask Zelda, what did your mother say? And the conversation will cease. She will go back. So one thing I will advise the potential fathers is they should try as much as possible that when mom says no, the dad should also say no. So that there will be some kind of discipline at home. Because when the child finds out, oh, if mommy doesn't give to me, definitely daddy will not give to me. That will be something that, yes. And also, I think as a father, you need to also pray together with your children. This is one thing that I've also learned a lot. And sometimes when I forget to pray with them, especially it's been a norm in the house, like our culture. When they are going back to school, when there is anything like their birthdays and stuff, it has been a culture in the house that we lay hands on them. So now it's been part of them that listen. So last time when they even reopened school and I wasn't at home, I prayed for them on the phone.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is something that as a father we should also be doing. Yeah.
Right, that's great, fantastic. Okay, so I know you are the disciplinarian at home, and I know you are all back and no bite. You shout at them, but then you are the one who loves them. How do you manage that so that you play with them at the same time when it comes to discipline, you can discipline them and not get them to hate you? You know what I mean? Like growing up, your father is the one who disciplines you, and so your father is really not your friend. Rather, your mother is the one who is always comforting you. So your mother is your friend, and your father is the one who is there to beat you when you do something wrong. How do you manage to be a friend to them and still be the one who disciplines them?
I think we as fathers, we've been learning a lot, especially you, Reverend. You've taught us a lot, and I think that is what is helping us. I normally like giving an example, a scenario, when I'm trying to give things like that. So, for example, there was a time I needed to discipline Zelda very, very well. So this is something that really needed a discipline. And I did that. And after that, she was very angry. So she went to her room and I went and sat with her. We had a conversation and I told her why I did that and how it's going to benefit her in the future. So I had a conversation with her.
Good.
And secondly, there was also another time, I can give lots of examples. There was also another time I needed to, Denzel did something which wasn't good as well, and I needed to discipline. I had a conversation with Denzel, and I told her, listen, we need to have a boys outing. What do you think? Yeah, it's fine. I said, yeah, let's go for boys outing. So we went out. We just went for a walk. We talked about life. And by the time we came back, he's forgotten the discipline that I did, because all that he came back to speak to Zelda about was the conversation we had, the chit chat. So even though you discipline them, but you still need to tell them why you did that. You should give them a reason for doing that. And that is what normally I do. And after that, we all come together, we do, and then we chill.
Okay, that's great. That's fantastic. So, what about kids, young people who are not like your biological children, that you're a mentor, a father type figure with? How do you impact into their lives? These are not your children. These are like kids in the church, kids around that you look up to you, because I know quite a few of them do. How do you impact into their lives?
I think one thing I do is, especially I'll give Christian for an example. I try to, whatever impact that I have on my kids, I try to extend it to Christian as well. One thing I normally do is sometimes I'll bring him to my house, and then we try to sit down, eat together, have a conversation, ask him about school, what is happening in school, because I've realized that most parents, especially the fathers, they don't ask the children what is really happening in their lives. And I've got so many examples, but I'm not going to delve into that. But so for me, I'll bring them onto my side, and I've got an example like Christian, so I'll bring him onto my side. I ask him more about school, what is going on in school, what is his life, friends, and all that. And then we try to have a conversation. The same thing that I do with my children, I extend that same to them as well.
I know, like with my children who are older, they look up to you, and it's been like that for years. They look up to you, and like my daughter doesn't like talking to a lot of people. She's like that. She doesn't talk to a lot of people, but I know that you're one of the few people that she talks to. If she has an issue, she may not even come to me, but she'll come to you and discuss it with you. What is it that makes you like a go-to person for even older people? When I'm talking about, she's in her 20s, but she'll come to you instead of talking to me per se. What are some of the things that what is the secret behind it that makes them gravitate towards you?
That is the reality. You tell them the reality of life. Especially for Phoebe. I speak to Phoebe like my own. I talk to Phoebe about everything, and I use my life as an example. So I tell them the reality. I don't beat about the bush. Because I've got so many examples in me that I tell them about.
So your mistakes.
The mistakes,
Okay.
the mistakes and the repercussions, what will happen if they do that.
Okay.
So it's all about telling them the truth and the reality. And I think I've got quite a couple of people, when they come to me, Phoebe comes to me, and I tell Phoebe, listen, I've been in this situation before, and this is what will happen if yes. And it's fun to talk to them when you tell them the real stuff.
So you see, being a father is not just talking to children. Sometimes you talk to people who are older, but they still take you as...
Yes.
I know my son will talk to you, and it's like, oh, even Alfred said this. And I was like, when did you talk to him about this? I don't see the connection, but it's a great thing to be like a mentor to people who are older and they still look up to you. And I think it also goes to as a testimony for who the type of person you are, how transparent you are, and how you can be firm and fair at the same time, and be able to relate with them and not lose your place as a father.
As a
type
father,
figure.
yeah.
It's
It's
great.
true. But also, I think, Reverend, it's also all to do about where we find ourselves now. Yeah, because for me, I always tell my wife, being in this circle has helped me a lot. Being in this church or it's helped a lot. And I won't take that for granted, because there are a lot of things. As we started, I told you that I didn't get that. I never had a father to sit down with me to have a conversation. So this is something that I've learned whilst growing up, and I've learned all here in church. So it's something that we can't take it out from. Yeah.
Wow. As well, Alfred, I can talk to you all day.
Yeah.
But for the sake of time, I'm being very conscious with that time. For the sake of time, I want you to give us like 2 or 3 pieces of advice for people like you who are in the church, who are like maybe older and they have younger people coming up. How do you get people to look up to you? How do you get people to even be able to come to you confidently with their issues that they will not even discuss with their parents, but they'll come to you with? What is it that makes them trust you?
I think you need certain grace. It's just by grace. Yeah. And secondly, you need to be very transparent. And I think people also see the relationship I've got with my kids and my wife. So people look up to that. So for me, I try to be real. I'm very realist. Yeah. So everything about me is the truth. I don't hide things. So people have seen that, and people try to also come to me to ask a lot of questions about fatherhood, and sometimes I ask myself, what do I even know? But I think there is something which today I was telling doctor that I need to build upon it. Yeah. So I think being real to yourself is very important, and also being transparent and all that. Yeah, is very, very important. Yeah.
Wow, that's fantastic. Also, so our time is up, and I want us to close this conversation, not because we don't have a lot more. Alfred, I can talk to him all day, and I before we close, Alfred, I want to say thank you for the impact you've had on my kids and the friendship that they have in you. It's I look at it and admire it because I know for a fact that if there's anything that's bothering, like my daughter, she'll come to you. She'll come to your wife comfortably, confidently. May not even tell me, but they'll tell you. And so if there's anything going on, and you always have a way of, like drawing my attention to, like, hey, there's something happening with the girl, check her out or something, which is fantastic. So thank you for being a father that is looking out for me where my kids are, and thank you for being a father to the young people in the church. And don't stop doing that. Don't stop. Your example is great for a lot of the young people to emulate. So God bless you. Well, guys, it's been great having a conversation with Alfred. And I also want to encourage all the other brothers in the church that, hey, it's not just your children that you're looking after. It takes a village to raise a child. So be a father to everybody, be a mentor to everyone, and help raise the men and women of God that are coming. Until we come back your way next time, this has been your host, Pastor Chris. I'll see you again. Shalom, peace. This is Yacach. God bless.